Everyone has been talking about DeepSeek and their crazy new good reasoning model R1. And I've recently been doing a lot of different videos showcasing how you can use DeepSeek R1 in different use cases like in N8N or in Cursor or with Groq. And I even just did a video on Qwen 2.5 Max, which showcases how China is really taking a huge step forward in terms of the AI race and open source AI. Now with Qwen 2.5 Max, they did comparisons in their benchmarks between DeepSeek v3, not R1, but I think it would be cool if Qwen, aka Alibaba, did come up with a reasoning model themselves. Now there's a few different ways you can go ahead and use these models. Of course, you can use the cloud version through their chat, which is useful if you just want to go ahead and test these models out. But what's some of the best use cases you can use if you want to go ahead and actually build an app or use this for AI coding? Well, in today's video, we're going to go over one of those use cases, and that is with Bolt.DIY. Now, I've done a few videos in the past covering Bolt.DIY. I covered it with DeepSeek version 3. I covered it before when it was called AutoDev. And if you're not familiar with Bolt.DIY, it is an open source version of Bolt.new, and it was originally created by Cole Medin and his community. Now, this is a really good tool because it allows us to test multiple different LLMs and test it in a self-hosted containerized coding interface where we can see which LLM performs best. So I'm going to show you how you can get this set up self-hosted in the next 5 minutes, how you can use it with DeepSeek R1 to build really cool apps, as well as Qwen 2.5 Max, and also some potential different ways you may want to use DeepSeek R1. Without ado, let's dive right into it. So like I mentioned, DeepSeek's been generating so much hype in the AI industry and the AI space, and quite frankly, the mainstream media too. I know people that have nothing to do with AI that know about DeepSeek now, and it was #1 on the App Store for their app. You can see it's caused OpenAI to release different statements, like Sam Altman doing different tweets, like saying the model's impressive, but we will obviously deliver much better models. There's been a couple OpenAI employees that are salty and tweeting out as well about DeepSeek. And as you can see, OpenAI says it has evidence that China's DeepSeek used its model to train competitor. The San Francisco-based ChatGPT maker told Financial Times it has seen some evidence of distillation, which it suspects to be from DeepSeek. The technique is used by a developer to obtain better performance on smaller models by using outputs from larger, more capable ones, allowing them to achieve similar results on specific tasks at a much lower cost. Distillation is a common practice in the industry, but the concern was that DeepSeek may be using it to build its own rival model, which is a breach of OpenAI's terms of service. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, DeepSeek did distill Qwen as well as Llama in some of their model releases. And there's also been some conspiracies such as NVIDIA's backdoor to China, saying that recent financial data and market analysis have raised questions about NVIDIA's sales patterns and potential circumvention of US export restrictions, while NVIDIA reports that direct shipments to Singapore are insignificant. 22% of last quarter's billings were to Singapore addresses, fueling speculation about a Singapore backdoor or chip sales to restricted markets like China. But enough with the conspiracies. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think so far about DeepSeek, and are some of these conspiracies actually true? But let's go ahead and get started with Bolt.DIY. So first things first, if you don't already have Bolt.DIY self-hosted, you're going to go over, copy the GitHub link that is in the description down below. And we're going to go over to our terminal right here, and we're simply going to run git clone and then the repo link right here. Once you run that, you're going to change directory into Bolt.DIY, and then you're going to open it up in Cursor or VS Code. So you could run code dot. Now, once you have this open, you're going to have a bunch of different options in terms of API keys that you can connect. So you're going to see a .env.example. You're going to want to copy this and duplicate it and rename it to .env. And then you can really just start pasting in your API key. So what I would suggest for this is Groq, because they have DeepSeek distilled, which you'll get lightning fast inference speed. So you can go ahead, test this out. You could also use Hugging Face, OpenAI, Anthropic, OpenRouter. You know, you can access DeepSeek through OpenRouter too. Google Generative AI, Llama. So you can also use Llama. You can put in the API base URL here. And as you can see, you can get DeepSeek R1 on Llama as well. Now, you probably won't be able to use some of these bigger models unless you have a really powerful GPU, but you could go ahead and use maybe the 14B model, 8B model, maybe even 32B, depending on your hardware specs. Now, you can also use an OpenAI like API base URL. So if you want to use Qwen 2.5 Max, then you would want to go ahead and paste that OpenAI like API base URL right here. So that would be -scope-intel, this right here. Now I'll leave a link to that video I did yesterday. If you do want to use Qwen 2.5 Max, you can go ahead, check that out. Are you tired of pouring thousands of dollars into appointment setters only to watch leads slip away? Imagine having a team of elite sales agents booking qualified appointments for you around the clock. No more wasted time on training, no more frustration with performance, and no more draining your budget on inconsistent and expensive call centers. Introducing Stride Agents, AI-powered appointment setters that work 24/7, never get tired, and book appointments while you sleep. Trained on thousands of successful conversations, our AI agents outperform human teams at just 1/10 of the cost. Join the ranks of businesses that doubled their appointments and booking rates in just a matter of weeks. Don't get left behind in the AI revolution. Visit strideagents.com now and transform your entire sales process with cutting-edge AI technology. It's time to accelerate your stride with AI agents. You would have to create an API account with Alibaba, so if you don't care about China having your data, then you can go ahead and do that. Now, we also have some other platforms that do have DeepSeek, like Together AI, which does provide you some free credits. We also have DeepSeek API key. So this is the direct API key from DeepSeek. Now, currently, if you try to go to platform.deepseek.com, it says our website is currently under maintenance. We apologize for the inconvenience. Now, this significant disruption is apparently due to a large-scale malicious attack that began affecting its services January 27th. So this forced them to temporarily restrict new user registrations. Apparently, this was a DDoS attack targeting the company's API and web chat platform. So who knows? Maybe, I'm not saying any names, maybe Sam Altman's pulling the trigger. I don't know. We did hear some conspiracies with the whole OpenAI whistleblower, so who knows? I'm not saying I actually believe that, but if you do, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear some of your guys' conspiracy theories, but if you do have your DeepSeek API key handy, you would want to paste that in there. Now, one thing I will note too is you can paste in all your API keys right here before you actually do anything. Or once we actually get the app up, you can actually paste in your API keys within the UI. But if you want them permanently there, you can paste them in right here in the environment variables. All right, so Hyperbolic also has DeepSeek available, so you can check that out as well. And I believe they have some free credits. You also got other platforms like Mistral, Cohere, LM Studio. So you could use LM Studio instead of Llama if you're running DeepSeek locally. And then we have XAI, Perplexity, etc. So put in the ones you want, the specific ones to DeepSeek that I outlined. And then what we're going to do is we're simply going to run PMPM install to install the dependencies. Now, one thing I will say is if you already have Bolt.DIY downloaded on your system, then you can simply just use git pull origin main to pull all the recent updates since they implemented DeepSeek integrations. Now, once you run PNP install and the dependencies are installed, you're simply just going to run PMP run dev to start the development server. Now, if you have any issues with this, you can check out the GitHub repo right here, which walks you through step by step, as well as different ways to install it using Docker, etc. But now this is going to start Bolt.DIY on localhost 5173. Now, first things first, if you want to use Qwen 2.5 Max, you can go to the OpenAI like section right here. And if you paste it in that base URL, like I showed you, then you can simply just add in the OpenAI API key right here for Alibaba, or you could do that in the backend too. And that's going to pull those models. So we have Qwen Max, Qwen Plus, Qwen Turbo, Instruct, etc. So I'm specifically going to focus on DeepSeek right now because DeepSeek R1 is just awesome and it's even cheaper. So let's go ahead to DeepSeek. Now within DeepSeek, we can see DeepSeek Chat, DeepSeek Coder, and boom, DeepSeek Reasoner. And this is obviously the one that has been shaking up the AI industry that we're going to use. Now, like I mentioned, you could also use other platforms like Hyperbolic here or Together, but we're just going to use the direct API. All right, so I'm going to say build a beautiful CRM application that is modern and has a ShadCN-like style. Impress me. I'm going to say make it on a React framework, and let's go ahead and send this. And like I mentioned, you could add API keys right here too if you didn't add them in the .env file. And it even gives you a place right here to get API key, which will take you directly to the API section. Now, this is really cool because they even integrated a thought process already. So you can see DeepSeek thinking within Bolt.DIY. So this is really crazy. So I really like reading this, even though sometimes it's long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this gives you an insight to how a really powerful and intelligent model thinks through different problems. This is really cool because it makes the whole process very transparent, opposed to OpenAI's O1 model where they hide the thinking. Okay, looks like we're getting an issue here. This operation is insecure. I don't know why we're getting this issue just spammed right here, but it looks like it is creating the app. So let's go ahead and read some of this. So we can see, all right, the user wants to build a beautiful CRM application with a modern style similar to Shadcn, built using React. Let me first break down how to approach this. First, I need to set up the project structure using Vite. With React and TypeScript makes sense for a fast setup. I'll include Tailwind CSS for styling since Shadcn is built on it, but since third-party libraries like Shadcn can't be installed via pip, I'll have to rely on NPM packages that are compatible with web containers limitations. Next, the UI component. Shadcn style is clean and modern, so I'll create reusable components like button, card, data table. Using Tailwind's utility classes will help achieve that look without external dependencies. I'll need to set up the theme configuration in Tailwind config to include custom colors and fonts. And you can see it's continuing on with its reasoning, which is really cool to actually read. And as you can see, it is building out the files right here. We got the package.json, we got the main.tsx, index.tsx, app.tsx. We got our different components like dashboard, button, card, data table, drop-down menu. And boom, it is running the command npm install. Okay, so boom, we encountered an error while running the terminal commands. Would you like Bolt to analyze this? Let's go ahead and ask Bolt. So you can click through, see the process. Okay, the user's getting this error right here. Looks like looking at the package.json, I can see that Vite is listed. All right, so how to do a bit of troubleshooting, but there we have it. We got our CRM dashboard, contacts, deals, analytics. As you can see, we could export new contact. Now, of course, you could build upon this. This is really just the foundations right here. And like I mentioned before, we could go back to a new chat. And this is, of course, where you could use, like I said, Llama or OpenAI or any one of the other alternatives. But just like I showed you in my last video, we're going to use Groq right here, and we're going to use the DeepSeek Distilled R1 Llama 70B, which is going to be blazing fast with a very powerful model. I'm just going to say build me a to-do app in React using Tailwind, and we will see how quickly it will actually go ahead and start doing this. So we can see the thinking process right here. Okay, and look how quickly it is actually getting to work on these files. It's actually blazing fast, and it's already done. It's running npm install. I don't know why it keeps doing this operation is insecure, but anywho, it is launching the app as we speak. I think this is extremely powerful because when you take something like Groq, which is very quick inference time, and you put it with something like DeepSeek R1, which is a reasoning model that, has to think, and it takes time to think. But if you could speed up that thinking process and get that same quality, that's very powerful. So once Groq gets some of the larger models, that's going to be insane as well. All right, now we are getting a rate limit error right here just because we did have an issue. I was trying to troubleshoot it, but we're getting rate limited by Groq, which is fine. I think you guys get the point. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys, on how to use DeepSeek R1, which is an extremely powerful open source model, in Bolt.DIY, which is an extremely powerful open source AI coding tool. So if you're new to the channel, we upload videos all the time on AI, marketing, sales, business growth. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest AI cutting edge technology, open source tools, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are about DeepSeek R1, all this controversy, all this drama. China is literally taking the open source AI industry by storm right now, and the whole world is watching to see what the USA will do about it. Also too, guys, if you haven't already joined our free Facebook group and Discord channel, stridecommunity.com, I'll leave a link down below. You're definitely going to want to check that out. And then also too, guys, check out our Stride AI Academy for behind the scenes resources, templates, tools, trainings, etc. It's going to be free at the moment, but it may not be free in the future, so join while you still can. Also too, guys, if you run a business and you need help implementing AI agents, AI appointment setters into your business, then book a call down below at executivestride.com/apply, and we can see if it's a fit or not. Other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.